Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome to the video. Now, the vehicle I've got for you today is a 2018 Dodge Caravan, and besides the filthy exterior, the inside of this van is a disgusting mess. Okay, well, before we get to the disaster waiting inside, I'll take you around the exterior of this van real quick, and all I can say is yikes. This thing is incredibly dirty everywhere and clearly hasn't been washed for a very long time. There's quite a bit of winter muck built up around the van, and of course the wheels and wheel wells are filthy too. But moving inside, and it only gets worse, as this is easily one of the dirtiest vehicles I've seen. There's an almost unimaginable amount of nasty liquids that have been spilled all around the interior. The storage bins and trunk are full of garbage and old French fries and chicken nuggets, and if that's not enough, the carpets are covered in hair and some other unmentionable items. But just before we dive into this monumental disaster, take a second and make sure you're subscribed to the channel and that you've got the bell on. That way you'll get notified when my new videos go live each week. Alright guys, well, I have an enormous amount of work ahead of me to get this van looking brand new again. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the transformation. Alright, well, I'm sure some of you out there are looking forward to seeing the interior get cleaned up, but before I do, I need to blast all the dirt and ice off this van, and I've already gone ahead and opened up the hot water line feeding my pressure washer, so I end up with warm water in the wand, which will cut through the frozen chunks of mud a little better. And besides seeing the incredible transformation, make sure you guys stick around until the end of the video. The owner was absolutely thrilled when she saw the finished van, and her reaction is well worth the wait. Moving to the back now, and to give you a little bit of background on the van, it's got a little over 111,000 kilometers on it, or about 69,000 miles, so it's definitely been driven a fair bit over the last 3.5 years, and with the owner having young kids, I'm not at all surprised to see the interior in the shape it is, and just like I'm doing with the exterior here, I'm going to be incredibly thorough today to make sure I give it back to the owner looking as perfect as possible. Okay, working my way around the van with the pressure washer, and you'll notice here that some of this dirt is really stuck on the paint. So while it's not coming off right now, it will come off pretty easily with my wash mitt later on. But this sort of thing is a really good sign that the van hasn't been washed once all winter long. Now for these dirty door jambs, the best way to take care of them is with the pressure washer, and I always get a kick out of seeing what's hiding in the back ones on a van. Usually it's mostly French fries hiding down in there, but this time there were more Cheerios than fries. Okay, well after washing the van, I can see a ton of iron contamination all over every panel, so I'll get some of my Detailed Geek iron remover sprayed on, which is going to quickly dissolve those iron particles, turning purple while it does, and after letting it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes, I'll simply spray it off, but it's important to note that you do need to use a strong stream of water to get it all off, as it does tend to be a little sticky. Hey Mitch, how's your detail going? That van looked gross. It's going pretty good. Should I even ask though? What are you up to? Nah, not too much. Kind of bummed out though. I was all excited to watch a new yoga video on Netflix, but turns out it's not available in Canada. Dude, have you not heard of NordVPN? Nord what now? NordVPN. It's a virtual private network provider, which is just a fancy way of saying they're protecting your internet connection and privacy online. But that also means that because you're connecting to the internet through a VPN, you can access streaming services that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're saying I can watch my yoga video if I have NordVPN? Yep. With NordVPN, you can choose from over 5,400 servers to connect to in over 60 countries. It's super cool and really easy to use. But not only that, all of your traffic is encrypted, so no one can see what you're doing online. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, me too, man. That's why I've been using NordVPN for over 3 years now. Here, I'll show you how it works. All you have to do is pick a country to connect to, and in a matter of a couple of seconds, all of your online traffic is encrypted and no one can see what you're doing. You'll even be able to watch those yoga videos from Sweden that you're always talking about. Swedish yoga. Oh, they make the best videos. Anyways, thanks dude. NordVPN sounds like a total no-brainer. You got any sort of link for me? Yeah, it really is, man. Yeah, if you go to nordvpn.com/thedetailgeek, you can take advantage of an exclusive deal and try Nord risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I personally would highly recommend giving Nord a look, not because they're sponsoring the video, but because I've been using it for years and I love everything about it. Okay, I'm on it. I'm going to get Nord now so I can watch my video. Okay, well, have fun watching your Swedish yoga. Alright, well, as Mike dives into some Swedish yoga videos, I'll get to work on the massive mess that this interior is, and the first step here is to get the second row seats removed so I can get a better sense of what I'm dealing with here, and it's really not looking so good. So I'll then get the storage bin liners removed so I can pressure wash those later, and then work on getting the trunk emptied out. Now, besides this gummy candy that was stuck to the carpet, you guys know I've found some pretty gross things inside of vehicles before, like a vomit-covered floor mat hiding in the trunk of a van, but I'd say the used tampon I found in this one is right up there for one of the nastiest things I've ever pulled out of a vehicle. Now, as there's a ton of hair stuck in the carpet, I'm using my lily brush here to pull all that out of the fibers, and if you've ever wondered if it works on human hair too, well, I can assure you it does, as there's a fair bit of it in this van, but typically dog hair is what I use it for most. If you've got a hairy vehicle or even a couch at home, you can find these brushes on my website at detailgeekautocare.com. Now up here in the passenger footwell where you can see the dirt is super embedded in the crease of the carpet, I'll go ahead and lift the carpet up and get my hand underneath it so I can agitate that section better and get that dirt loosened up, though it is still a bit of a challenge as the carpet in this caravan isn't all that good. Now, one thing you'll always see me do is go around with the vacuum and my detail brushes around all the interior trim, agitating in the crevices, cup holders, and storage compartments, as getting as much of the debris out as I can now just makes my job easier when I'm steaming everything later on. Working my way around the van with the extractor, and it's time for this week's members question, which comes from Mark, and it's how do you figure out what trim pieces you can safely remove, clean, and replace? So I'll start by saying that's a great question. Since every vehicle is different and the trim pieces are secured by different types of clips, it can be a challenge to know how to get them out safely. So the biggest tip I can give would be to have a pry tool handy, and then a lot of the time you can feel where a trim piece or center console is secured so you can find the clips or bolts. But really for me, it just comes down to experience. I've done enough vehicles now that I have a really good idea how interiors are put together, and in the case of caravans, I've dismantled enough over the years, I could probably do it in my sleep at this point. Now up here in the driver's footwell, you can see the floor mat did a reasonable job of protecting the carpet underneath, but along the edges where it didn't cover, there's quite a bit of dirt embedded, which is where my green drill brush really comes in handy, because if I can't get that all loosened up, then the carpet won't be perfectly clean, and as you guys know, I always strive for perfection in my details. Here's the nasty slurry of water pulled from the van today. Gross. Now for all these dirty and grimy interior surfaces, I'm using my Detail Geek all-purpose cleaner diluted 4:1, which is heavy strength. And as I've said before, the APC really is the secret to getting messes like this cleaned up. Using just steam alone wouldn't be able to touch some of the messes in here, but adding in the APC and it's like magic. The dirt and nasty grime just melt off, and in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes, this door looks perfect again. Now as I work my way around with the steamer, cleaning up all the mystery spills in here, I wanted to just remind you guys that while steam is generally the easiest way to get things clean, you certainly can't just go all Rambo with it and use it really aggressively. The steam being used is obviously very hot and has the potential to damage interior components, so it's always important to work quickly and use shorter blasts of steam, and definitely don't hold the steamer in one spot for too long or it could permanently discolor the plastics. Now for all the trim pieces I removed earlier, like the sill plates and cup holder inserts, I'm once again using APC diluted 4:1 as it can cut through the dirt and grime pretty easily. You can find the all-purpose cleaner on my website at detailgeekautocare.com, and I also provide an empty dilution mixing bottle with every bottle of APC, complete with pre-marked dilutions on the bottle, so be sure to give it a look if you're interested. Now just before I get the vehicle put back together, I'll quickly dump all the garbage out of the storage bin liners and then get them blasted clean. Okay, moving to the leather seats now, and for that I'm using some of my leather cleaner and my new leather brush to agitate, though had these seats been a little bit dirtier I would have been steaming them, but luckily the brush will suffice here, and then I'll simply just wipe them clean with one of my dual pile microfiber towels, and once I've done them all, I'll apply some leather conditioner to keep them feeling soft and supple. Now as I continue applying 303 around the van, I just wanted to say that if you haven't tried this stuff yet, you're really missing out. The link is down in the description for you, but you should really consider picking up a bottle as it will make your entire interior look incredible, and it does a great job with UV protection as well. And as you guys know, I always apply this to every plastic surface in a vehicle, including in the glove box and storage compartments, even though I know the customer likely won't ever notice that. It's just not in my nature to do a less than perfect job. Okay, to get all this filthy and grimy glass cleaned, I'm using some of my Detail Geek glass cleaner and waffle weave towel, and it's easily able to cut through the crud on the glass, and the cleaner is also ammonia free, so it's safe for tinted windows, and after flipping the towel for the final wipe, the glass is perfectly clean and streak free. Hey,
hi. Oh my gosh, it already looks so like brand new.
Yeah, a little different than your drop top.
Wow, you even like changed the whole front there.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah, you have to have a look inside. That's where Chuck the order.
Holy, it looks brand new.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Wow, how do you do that?
A lot of hard work.
This didn't even look this clean when I got it, I swear.
Yeah, right on.
Wow. Oh my gosh. My kids aren't allowed in here ever. It smells good too. Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, we bet. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, so.
Yeah, it was pretty gross there when you started opening cabinets. I'm sure you were thinking, what the?
There were some strange things, but it's okay. I've seen worse.
He's in for a surprise. Awesome. Okay.
Well, I'll give you that.
Great.
Thanks, enjoy
Thank
it.
you so much. Wow.
Okay, well, after 14 long hours, the reset button on the van has been hit and it is looking brand new again. Well, aside from missing the front bumper. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed watching this epic transformation, make sure you smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on future videos. And go ahead and share it with a family member or a friend and show them just how nasty that van was when I started and what I found in there. Anyways, enjoy the guitar outro and I'll see you guys in the next one.